Hey, welcome back to my channel Endless Pages. I'm Liv. Welcome to today's video, which is a book unhaul. I've been wanting to film another one of these for a very long time, but I have been waiting for a while just so I could collect a large amount of books so I could do a big one all at once. So let's go through these books and why I'm not going to keep them. The first book I'm getting rid of is A Touch of Power by Marie V. Snyder. I read this earlier this year and really didn't like it. It's about this girl and she's a healer, and it's set in this world where there's a plague that's wiped out like so much of the population, and healers are blamed for spreading the plague. So our main character gets kidnapped by this bunch of guys that want to use her power to like heal their prince. Yeah, but he's like the leader of the campaign against healers. So I thought it'd be really cute and like enemies to lovers vibe. I really did not like the writing, did not like the main character. I didn't like really any of the side characters. I feel like weren't developed enough for me to have any feelings about. And the main villain towards the end, his power was so creepy and it made me so uncomfortable to read that I knew I wasn't even going to give the sequel a chance. I really didn't like this one. I can't remember how many stars I rated it. Maybe 3 or 2. Maybe 2. If I got it wrong, I'll pop it on the bottom of the screen. But no way I would ever touch this book again, so it's got to go. Next up, I got Where the Crawdads Sing. I will admit I did get this after learning about the whole controversy around the author and her husband. I didn't pay full price, like I got it at a charity thing. Not that that probably makes it any better, but I realized I probably shouldn't be supporting this author. That was a stupid thing to do, and I don't think I'd even like this book, to be honest. I remember when like the shorts for the movie came out, I was like, will I even enjoy this? It doesn't really seem like a me kind of read. So we're not going to support this author. I'm going to get rid of this. Then I'm getting rid of All That's Left in the World by Eric J. Brown. This is kind of like an apocalyptic queer romance. I thought this was going to be really cute, and I love anything to do with the apocalypse, that kind of storyline in my books and in my like TV shows and movies. But I don't know if this makes sense, but to me the apocalypse was kind of more a setting than the plot, if that makes sense. It was just more focused on the romance within the apocalyptic setting. Like there were some apocalyptic risks and some, you know, some traveling, but yeah, it was more focused on the romance, and the romance was cute, but you know, I'm not a big romance reader where romance is the main plot and that's it. Like I need fantasy or some other element, and that's why I thought I would enjoy this book, but didn't really vibe with it. The main characters were kind of similar as well, so it was hard to see distinctions between them at times. So I'm never going to read this again. It was maybe a 3-star read, and I'm deciding if I rate it 3 stars, it doesn't belong on my shelf, so goodbye. This section of the video is called books that I have different editions of now, and I wasted my money big time. First up, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I bought this copy pretty much right around when the BookTok hype for this book was at its height. I went to like the big gimmicks in the city as well to look for this book, and they didn't have any of the like the blue edition with like the little heart like this one, so I had to get this one, and it's a really ugly cover in my opinion, so I really wanted to read it, so I just got this one because I didn't know whether I was going to like it or not. But now that I know that I adore it, I got the nice anniversary edition, so I don't need this anymore. I'm going to try and do this all in one take. And then we got How the King of Elfheim Learned to Hate Stories. I purchased this, well, I'm Australian, so we get majority 90% hardbacks, paperbacks only. So when this first came out, I wanted to have it on day one, and even if I had pre-ordered the hardback, it wouldn't have arrived on publication day. So I purchased this on publication day because I wanted to read it ASAP. But since I've got the hard copy to match my, because I have the Cruel Prince in hardback, so getting rid of this, I don't need it anymore. Then we have A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This is one of the Ember in the Ashes books. I don't know which one because I just kind of ordered them all. I don't like these covers. I ordered these online during COVID, I think, so I didn't know that I was getting the ugly cover because it was back when bookstores were just like picking it for you and sending it to you. I've started getting the nicer editions, so I don't need that anymore. And then next up is Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the Illuminae File series. I started off getting them originally when they first came out in the tall, and then when I realised I wanted the rest of the series, even though this is the last book, they weren't doing them in the tall anymore, only the short, and you couldn't find the tall anywhere, so I just started again and got them all in the shorter paperback, so I don't need that. And then this, I think, is maybe my original copy of Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, obviously the Hunger Games series. I'm kind of sad to get rid of it if it's an original copy, but I think maybe I started out reading these in my school library in year 7, and then maybe my mum must have purchased this for me. I have much nicer editions, and this seems to be the only Hunger Games book I have, so don't need that. And then finally, Divergent by Veronica Roth and Allegiant by Veronica Roth in 2 completely different editions. I bought the lovely anniversary editions that came out this year, so I don't need these. They don't match. Speaking of Veronica Roth, 4 by Veronica Roth. This is like the little novella about 4. I'm never going to read this, ever. I have no interest in reading this. I just bought it at the time because I loved the Divergent series, not so much how it ended, but it's not going to happen. When am I ever going to be like, you know what I'm in the mood for? To read the 4 novella book. Oh, I almost forgot about these two books. These are continuation of the I already have copies of these books section of this video. So that's Light and Fear. Well, that's not the right order. Fear and Light. These are the last 2 books. Yeah, 2 books in the Gone series by Michael Grant. I saw these at a really cheap like book grocery store. They were like $10 each, which is crazy prices for Australia, and I was like, oh, they're so cool, I love them, I want them, and one of them's got a sprayed edge. But I realized I was never going to actually finish the collection because they're exactly the same as the paperback, just hardback, and I want to keep these ones on my shelf because they're my original copies and you can't get those covers anymore. So I was never actually going to finish this collection. I just got excited by cheap books and bought them. This next section is titled Olivia is a Dumbass and doesn't triple check her cart before she places orders, and orders multiple copies of the same book in the same order. So I'm getting rid of The Luminous Dead and Bluebird. These are probably books you've just seen on my channel because I just did a book haul. I ordered 2 copies of both of these books, so yep, we're gonna move on. I also pre-ordered the same book twice years ago, and that is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is a signed edition. I just found this in my cupboard recently. I must have hidden it there in shame when I realized I ordered 2 signed copies of King of Scars. Yeah. Oh, that's not where the signature is. There's the signature. Yeah, I'm so dumb. What a waste of money. What a waste of money. Then I'm getting rid of A Deadly Class. This is a graphic novel. I didn't like this graphic novel. It was too much even for me. Like, it was too, I don't know what's the word, like gory. Like, I don't mind violence, but it was just really messed up and a bit more than I could handle. I do love, even though it only had 1 season, I did really enjoy the TV show they made of this, much more than I enjoyed the graphic novel. Next up, I'm getting rid of a book I read, gosh, I don't even know how long ago. This is A Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. It's like a gender-bent King Arthur Merlin retelling. I really thought I would love that because Merlin is one of my favourite shows ever, just iconic. But I remember this being a letdown, and I've gone back onto my Goodreads and I checked, I rated this 4 stars, and I just feel like I'm really having a crisis at the moment with like how I rate books, and I feel like I need to stop being so generous and a bit more critical when I rate books, because now, like, I haven't thought about this book since I read it until now, obviously, and now that I'm thinking about it, was it that great? I don't remember being totally obsessed with this book. I feel like probably I should lower it to a 3 stars. I know this is a trilogy or a series. I have no interest in giving this series another go. The only sad thing is that the cover is really cool, and like, that's really cool, but you know, if it's taking up space, if I didn't enjoy it, why keep it just for the sake of the cover? So yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit more harsh with how I rate books, because I don't have, you know, no one has room to keep books that they kind of liked on their shelf. I need to be more critical with my ratings, I think. So you know how I was literally just saying I'm too generous with ratings? This next kind of book is going to be an example of that. Ages ago, I read Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Lebenseller, and I rated that 4 stars. But again, now that I think back, I think it's probably a 3-star, and I was way too generous with my ratings. I don't remember being that impressed by it. I think it was very like mediocre writing, and I was just too generous. So I bought the sequel. I don't own Daughter of the Pirate King. I believe I got it from the library. And then I purchased the sequel, Daughter of the Siren Queen. I have no interest in reading this. I forgot it was on my shelves. It's not going to happen. It needs to go because I don't remember it being that great. And I feel like, you know, is the writing going to be that different, or is it just going to be same old, same old? So it's going to go. Next up is the 10th anniversary edition of Looking for Alaska by John Green. I read Looking for Alaska and John Green in high school and really loved it. If I went back and read it again now, I don't know if I would have the same opinion. I think I just purchased this because it's a pretty edition, but I have my original copy, and it's not one of my favorite books of all time, or I like have to have every edition. So this is a waste of space in my opinion, and it's going to go to someone who will actually appreciate it. Next up, This Is Not the Jess Show by Anna Carey. I read this earlier this year and despised it, hated every second. I read this book. I cannot believe I made it through and didn't DNF it. This is set in like 98, and it's about Jess, and Jess, you know, has got the normal life. She's got this boy she's got a crush on, she's got her friend group, she's got a sister who's got like this mysterious illness, and then one day this like black square with like a little apple on the back falls out of her friend's pocket, and she kind of starts to, is this a spoiler? Yeah, she has more questions than answers about her own life, and she races to uncover the truth about her family, her friendships, and her town. And one thing becomes clear: we all have our own version of reality. So it's a poor man's version of The Truman Show. You can tell the author loved The Truman Show and really wanted to make her own version of it. This is a horrible version. I think I read this in a vlog or a wrap-up. I'll link it if you want to see me rant more about it there. But I've already hate ranted about this enough, I think, on this channel, so just go watch The Truman Show instead. So much better. So the next books are a maybe. Like, I'm really torn about whether I should keep these or not. That's the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. I thrifted most of these. I've read the first one, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, by, what's the series by? Ransom Riggs, that's right. I really like, I don't know, I think I enjoyed the first book. I wasn't like blown away by it. I think it was more the fact that the book has like little like Polaroid photographs throughout, and they're actual photographs, like old-fashioned photographs that the author like thrifted, and he wrote stories and wrote stories around these photos and created the characters and their powers around the photos. I thought that was just so cool and creative, and I think maybe that's why I've held on to these books for so long. It's because they're popular, and I think that idea is really cool. But I haven't thought about the series since I've read this one. Like, I wasn't like, you know, really obsessed with it when I was reading, like quickly turning the pages, like I have to know what happens next. I think I just hold on to them because like I feel like I shouldn't get rid of such a popular series. But again, was I ever going to make an effort to actually pick up the sequel? Probably not. So let me know in the comments, should I keep these? Should I give it a go? Should I just give up? Like, please, I need help with this one. The next two books I won't talk about in too much detail because I have read them recently and they are in recent videos. So the first one is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Manicello. This is about Videra, and she is a twin. She's a witch as well, and she finds her twin sister dead, like brutally murdered. She vows to find out what happened to her sister who killed her. And then she meets Wrath, who is one of the 7 princes of hell, and he vows to like help her figure out what's going on and who's killing, who killed her. I thought it would be like darker, like good banter, enemies to lovers, like throat to the knife, like I hate you kind of romance. I feel like it was really lacking in enemies to lovers banter, and you barely got any banter before the romance kind of like took over. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but I feel like there was not enough of the enemies banter. The mystery was really annoying. She had really repetitive thoughts and kept going back to the same theories that were incorrect and drove me nuts. I feel like even it was really predictable for me, and I'm not a person who usually says, oh yeah, like I saw the ending coming, like I could predict it. That's not normally me at all. So if I can predict it and it's predictable to me, like that's concerning. So I rated this 3 stars. I really didn't like the writing style either. I know this is a really popular book, so sorry if you liked it. The second one that I'm not going to talk about too much is Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Sutanto. This is a kind of romance about, well, yeah, it's a romance story. We have our main character who goes on a blind date and accidentally ends up killing her blind date, and she calls her 4 aunties for help. Her aunties and her run this wedding business, and the timing of the death is kind of annoying because they have the biggest wedding of their company's like life, and the wedding venue is run by the main character's ex. So I thought it would be a bit of romance, which I like, but I thought it would be the fun kind of like murder story as well. I found like it was just too silly for my liking. I wasn't able to suspend my belief, I think, as much as they wanted you to. I just found the characters too silly, and like, well, not all of them, but like the police character and some of the other people just too silly to believe. I did like the family aspects. I thought that was cute, but I gave it 3 stars, just too silly for my liking. The last book on this unhaul is Hide by Kirsten White. So, oh, actually, this is the second Kirsten White book in my unhaul. I just put 2 and 2 together. I just realized that. Maybe I don't like Kirsten White's writing. Okay. Controversial. Anyway, so this is about this game of hide and seek that's meant to be this competition, and slowly the contestants start actually disappearing. I hated this. The writing was atrocious. The characters were so poorly written and such caricatures, like stupid. There was like an influencer. It was so weird. To be honest, it was weird. There was like this influencer character that was such like a stereotype, and it was like a, you know, like a 50-year-old talking about what an influencer is. She was so vapid and just, you know, all the stereotypes. Of course there are influencers that are a bit up themselves, but this was like, you're watching like an American movie set in high school where there's like a stereotype of every character. That's what this felt like. Then there was a stupid character that wanted to meet the creators of the competition and get a job there, so she turned up to this game of hide and seek in a business suit. Like it was so weird. The writing was so bad, and I really didn't like it. I DNF'd this. I don't think, gosh, I can't even remember where I got up to. I might not even gotten like up to more than a page 100. I think that it's a short read. It's only like 230 odd pages, but I couldn't even do it. It was so boring. Nothing happened. You just like, you literally read the perspective of the character playing hide and seek. So she was hiding all day. That's all you read, just her chilling in her hiding spot all day. It was like, I can't read like almost 300 pages of that. That's so boring. So yeah, me and this book did not get on, and I know this is not an unpopular opinion. I know lots of people did not like this book either. So there we have it. Those are the books I'm unhauling. Am I unhauling anyone's favourite books? I hope I didn't offend anyone with my opinions. Let me know in the comments whether or not I should keep the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children series. Let me know in the comments what is the last book that you unhauled, or what are some books you've unhauled recently. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. As always, all my social media links are in the comments below, and I will see you in whatever the hell I post next. Bye!